Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cynthia Linux Show. I am your host, Cynthia Linux, here again to remind you that this is the best season of your life. You know, when I started this show almost a year ago, June 1st will be a year, little did I know that I would benefit from it as well. And, of course, I do a lot, whatever it takes to encourage myself. But when I hear from you, how much you have been encouraged and grown, developed, with a new awareness, a new outlook, a new perspective. When I hear from you with, even if it's just a little word of encouragement, it really, really sends me over the top with joy because the whole idea, my whole drive, my whole desire really is to impart, inspire, encourage, motivate you to live your life to the fullest, regardless of what situation you're in. Be intentional and purpose in your mind, in your heart, to live a full life now, because guess what, you've only got one life, just one life. Now I know that not everyone really wants to get up and go and start doing stuff. There's some people that are just fine the way they are. They don't want to hear anything about adventure or trying something new or keeping an open mind or growing, developing, expanding their horizon. There's some people that they're like, just leave me alone. I'm fine. Getting up every day, having breakfast, watching TV, do a little social media, and just hanging out on the couch every day. That is okay. My share, my message, my teaching may not be for you if that's the case with you. But then again, there are those of us who really enjoy life, really absorb the life at its cellular level, and we love to live organically, just naturally make things happen and flow. I had something that I post this morning in a group that I joined, and the post says, I have it also on my Facebook page. It says, "Don't let the tame ones tell you how to live." And so someone someone wrote back and said, "It seems like you like to have a lot of fun." And I thought, yeah. I said, so I wrote back and I said, yes. The purpose of life is pleasure, and I stay on the positive and the optimistic side of life. That's just me in a nutshell. Because if you don't think, and what I have found, and I've shared this with you before, what I have found is that as I stay on the positive and optimistic side of life, it seems like those are the things that follow me. Those are the things that I attract. Those are the experiences that manifest in my life with little effort. And it all starts with a mindset. It all starts with my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, and how I channel those to my actions and my expectations. And the things that I expect are the things that show up in my life. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect. And I hate to have to even have that, insert there, because you would understand that I am not insinuating that life is perfect and that I don't have, things that, hiccups, hindrances, situations that has to be resolved. But then my mind is, I really have a lot of, I give a lot of thought to the human potential. I give a lot of thought to the human potential, and I train my mind to expand and to push my abilities, my skills and expertise and the way I think. I train myself, my mind, and I encourage you to do that, because what happens is that, in my experience, is that it mitigates, the fear, the negativity, the doubt, the just the things that brings you fear, because Most people are motivated by that. You take precautions because of this. There's nothing wrong with taking precautions, but sometimes we're just overly cautious. We don't even take a chance. We don't even take risk. We don't even allow ourselves to experience adventure and new things and meet new people and know that things are going to be fine and put our trust in situations and just live a life in all its positivity. Because once you set your mind set to that, that is what you start attracting. So, again, I'm not saying that things don't happen. Things do happen. But because of our potential as humans, because of our potential, in my experience, it helps me to figure things out. When I have a situation that comes up, whether it's with whatever it is, I figure it out. You train your mind to figure things out. And as a result, I see that I get things done quicker. I get the collaboration of, if it involves people, I get their collaboration quicker. Their help, the desire to help me. Maybe a situation that I need to resolve over the phone. I get people that are patient and they want to help. So and all that comes with believing in yourself and trusting your intuition and being guided by your gut feeling, because you know what, that's where your truth lies. And when I say that I believe in the human potential, for me it's true. I that's my go-to place. That is my go-to place, and I've gotten so used to uh coming aside and just sitting with myself. If you if you were a fly in the wall in my surroundings at any time, you may hear me whispering to myself or saying, well, not really audibly, but I just get into deep thought and start thinking, because I have come to know by experience that my mind works in my favor. My mind, my thoughts work in my favor. The thoughts that come to me, the thoughts that I receive and accept. And usually if I have to get something fixed that requires, let's say requires money, finances, I'm going to come up with the idea. I'm going to come up with the idea as to how to make that happen. And invariably, it always happens in my favor. That is something that I know. That is something that I know, that I have come to trust. And you have to figure out what works for you. I'm sharing with you what works for me. And it takes courage more so than confidence. You have to have the courage to walk this path, because it's challenging. I hate to use the word hard, because a lot of people say, life is hard, or that is too hard. Well, to me, if it's too hard, it's like, like if you ask me to push a car, well, that is hard. If you ask me to push a car, push a truck, that's hard. But if you ask me to resolve a situation, or to deal with a situation, or to figure out something, then that to me is a challenge. So I submit my mind to the challenge, and invariably I always come up with a solution. And as I forge ahead, it may not have been the best solution. So what? I take a step back and regroup. That's just, nothing. We, it's crazy to think that every time everything is going to turn out perfectly. No. But because I expect, when I'm dealing with people, when I'm dealing with a situation, when I'm dealing with uh, just with anything, I expect the best. I expect someone to help me. I expect someone to be kind. I expect someone to yield the way. Why? Because I yield the way. You can, you try to cut in. No, I don't. You don't have to cut in. I will yield the way to you. when I call you on the phone, I want to know your name. And sometimes, it's so funny because, I would make a phone call and or they'll transfer me to the department and they'll come on and say their name and sometimes I don't get it. Sometimes names are different. And I would say, I'm sorry, I didn't hear your name. And sometimes they would be a little standoffish and then they'll tell me their names and then I will start the conversation saying their names. Do you know how melodic that is to someone's ears to hear their name? To someone, to hear. So, and throughout the conversation, that's what I do. I continue to say their name. And with that, I'm telling you, it's like honey. It's the person, they're so patient. And when I'm done, I would always say something like that. I hope I get an email or something for feedback because you have been so patient, so kind, so courteous, uh, in helping me. And I do appreciate that. I said, you're the expert. I didn't, when I called you, it's not like I knew a lot. So all of those little tactics I exercise, which again brings to me it attracts just goodness and kindness and favor and all positive relationships and positive connections, positive reaction, and so forth. And then again, if it's negative, then I would again react, you know, not react, but I would respond that way. And sometimes, on a phone call, I would say, you know, we are not really having the right energy between you and I. So tell you what, I'm gonna hang up and I'll call back because you and I can sense there is no energy between us. So let me just hang up and call back. And I've done that a couple of times. I do that because you sense that energy, and I'm guided by that. I would say, yeah, we're not flowing in the same because you perceive, especially if you have a situation with your whatever it is, and you call and you need help. You need them to help you to figure things out, to show you or resolve something. And you see, you feel, you sense, you perceive, you have the intuition that the person is not really, maybe having a bad day or whatever, but they don't really want to help you. So uh, don't go on. Not me. I don't go on. I say, it's just not, you and I are really not flowing in the right energy. Let me hang up and I'll call back and speak with someone else. I do that as many times as I need to, unapologetically. And, it's not like they have a chance to say, and, in most cases, the calls are recorded. And, sometimes people are concerned with that, but that's not me. I go with energy and I go with what I feel. That's why it's important that you are not concerned with this whole idea. As I talk to people, the whole um, hindrance, the thing that hinders them the most is what would people think? What would people say? What would people think if I tell them this? What will people say? What will people think? And I because every time I talk to someone, that's a main concern. What would people say? What would people think? What would people say? What would people think? Well, so I start asking, who are these people that we are concerned about? Who are they? Who are they? For some people it's their family. For some people it's their co-workers. Some people it's their friends. And they put so much value into what these people think of themselves. And one person that I was talking to was just really having a tough time. I mean, having a real tough time trying to figure out things to do, really wanting to start living and become their true, authentic self. And they just didn't see a way that they could do that without the criticism and judgment of others. Because what has happened is that they have been quiet and subdued all their lives, just very quiet, very subdued. And so now, they're becoming more aware. They have entered into this realm of conscious awareness, and they want to really bring out their true self. They really want to burst out. It's like bursting out of this bubble, out of this, you know, mental prison, if you will. But it's so challenging because people know them a certain way and they're concerned that if they start changing it, and I said, well, you don't have to, make big changes. Just start with little change. But the whole thing is this: you don't make these changes for people. These changes are for yourself. You make these changes for yourself because it's really returning to your true self. It's like going back to before you were age 5, and that freedom that you had in your being, your that freedom, that sense of being, that sense of just really embracing who you were at that age, and just the confidence, the trust, the vigor, the vitality that you had, or whatever your personality was before it was shaped by social construct and the people around you, your environment, your culture, and so forth. So I started sharing with that person. And I said, you know what? I said, first of all, there are certain things that you must go through before you even uh, attempt to come into that space of your true, authentic self. First of all, you have to practice self awareness. You have to know who you are, and you have to accept who you are. You're unique. You're like no one else. You are a unique individual. And once you accept that, whether it is that you may have a vivacious personality, bodacious, or you may be, on the quiet side, it's not a matter of good or bad, right or wrong. It is who you are. It is who you are, accepting who you are. If your thing is not to step out and really start living, then accept that. So either way, accept that who you are and what you want. Focus on your own happiness. That's the whole thing. Especially women, we have a tendency to focus on the happiness of others. We want to give our kids the whatever they want, the best things, things that'll make them happy, keep them entertained. And, when it's vacation, we want to take them here, we want to take them there. And all of that has to do with, the happiness of others, to the neglect of happiness to ourselves. So we need to focus on that. What are the things that make me happy? What are the things that make me happy? What are the things that brings me joy? What are the things that make me content? And mind you, you cannot depend on someone else to bring you joy or happiness or to make you content. That comes from within. And again, it starts with your mindset, with your thoughts. What do you think about yourself? I talk a lot about the self. And, when you talk about the self, as a matter of fact, I wrote this article. And I haven't published it yet. But anyway, I wrote this article, and this article has to do with personality examination. And I said, listen, I said, being humble, lowly, and modest is encouraged and favored by social constructs, and a meek and quiet personality is applauded. To be quiet unassuming, simple, and to do everything in moderation is greatly admired. If you don't fit that framework, you'll be labeled as proud, egotistical, braggadocious, arrogant, selfish, narcissistic, and lacking self control. And I said, this personality can be easily molded. It is easy to subdue, dominate, and control. Okay, now here's the contrast. Meanwhile, there are individuals who are bursting with a bold personality. They're passionate, outspoken, self aware, powerful, confident, positive, assertive, unscripted, relentless, optimistic, courageous, bodacious, authentic, unfiltered, and daring are all traits that define them. I said, the me, myself, and I self care mindset is frowned upon. When you say me, myself, and I, in terms of self care, people can frown upon that because they would say that you are egotistical and selfish. So that can be frowned upon. Showing up, living out loud, excited, and being unapologetic will be viewed negatively. Yet they're unfazed, they are unfazed. They thrive on taking risk, and most importantly, they don't care about what others may say about them. And then I indicated this personality embraces freedom, is open minded, remains curious, and unafraid to discover new things. Those are some of the thoughts that I have had. I compared two types of personality because that really is what exists. You have those that are controllable, people that are easily manipulated, and so forth. And then you have those of us that are outspoken and unafraid to show up loud. And and then, as I said here, we are unfazed by what would people think, what would people say, because once you get to know you and accept you, it doesn't really matter. That validation does not matter at all. That people accept and validate you doesn't really matter. Now, will you sometimes phase rejection or feel sometimes ostracized or people taking a step back, distancing themselves from you? That could happen. But then again, you may be the one distancing yourself from people that are negative, people that are pessimistic, people that are, that are stagnant, and you can't have an intelligent conversation with. You may be the one that distance yourself from those kind of people because in your path, wherever you decide to go, as you get to know who you are, you really want to surround yourself with people that are positive, that are optimistic, people that are embraces the new, love adventure, like-minded people. And you may just be attracted to a new group of people, and that is okay. That is okay. That's part of getting to know who you are and accepting who you are as well. Accepting who you are and the changes that you're going through. And when you accept that, you do one of two things. You either invite people to accept you for who you are, or you just acknowledge and you just settle for the fact that they may move on or you may have to move on. There's some people that old friends way back, um, that I have known, and every conversation is just not stimulating. Every conversation is negative and just totally negative, negative. And I said to my husband, one particular person, I said to my husband the other day, and the thing is, I get on the phone and I would give this person a call and, with the hopes of encouraging them and helping them see the positive view of things, whatever it is, but they reject that whole thing of being positive. And you can't be positive all the time and so forth. And that, I don't subscribe to that thinking. So, because a person is older, I do try to call and make it short, and just really do just follow the energy and try to encourage that person. But I'm coming to a place where it's like, you know what? No, I don't want to deal with this. But then again, it's somebody that I've known for a long time, family friend, and I appreciate. And sometimes there is more than anything else, there's like compassion. That's what I feel for that person at this stage of their lives, because as time goes on and they're reaching different seasons, they have a lot of health challenges. And I realize that when you have health challenges, um, that can really affect your whole outlook on life, because all you're thinking about is the pain you're experiencing or the discomfort you're experiencing. And those are real things. And if you don't know what to do or how to challenge your mind, that is where your focus will be, on your health. And as much as I may say, do this or do that, or drink this or do that, it's like, here's cucumber and lemon water. It's delicious, but it's so good because it helps your digestive system. Anyway, the more I would say, do this, do that, and it will, ease your pain and reduce inflammation, or, just little things. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They want their Tylenol, Aleve, uh, all the things that can be prescribed over the counter, whatever it is. They don't want to hear anything positive or optimistic because they're focused on their own issues, which is pain and discomfort. So, you, again, as I was saying, you have to pursue your own happiness. What are the things that make you happy? But the thing is, when you are pursuing your own happiness, you have to make sure that the people that are around you, that they understand this new you that's coming out. Perhaps you weren't someone that used to like hiking, but now you enjoy, or at least you're getting started. You're thinking, well, this is not too rigorous. This is not too, challenging, on flat terrain or whatever, flat surface. I'm going to start hiking. And, people might say, well, what's up with you? Whatever. You need to make sure that it is something that you want. And, you may be just trying out something new. And then you may decide, no, I don't want to do that. That is fine as well. You may start inviting friends over, have a cup of coffee or whatever. Or you may be inviting a friend to some place, a restaurant or whatever. Let's go to happy hour. Let's have a glass of wine. That may be new for you. All of that, my friend, is self care. You're doing new things for yourself. You're opening up, and again, you're doing new things. It's for you. And even if you have to pay, whatever, it doesn't matter. If it's for you, then you do it. It's you. You accept, and you move forward. You discover the things you like. And again, that may work for you, or going out with this friend may work. Or you may say, nah, this person is not fun. There's no conversation, like we would say in Spanish. No tiene tema. No tiene tema means they don't have anything, to talk about. Because when you go out, you really want to talk about things that will help you grow, and give you a new perspective on life. And that's why, for me, when I go out and we talk with people that have traveled, or I like to talk about technology or just life itself. That is so stimulating to me, because you get different people's perspective. And if they're people that have traveled, I love to talk about cultures and norms and habits and societal construct and things. And then you realize how different we are, how different we are, maybe culturally, but as people, we are the same. I can tell you in a heartbeat, when you go wherever you go, we have the same needs. And that's the need for community. When you find someone that you can, uh, that, we have the same needs, you can relate to, because we have the same need to be loved, to and love, and people around us, we have the same needs, and to grow and prosper, and just we have the same needs as human. We may achieve it differently, but we have the same needs. And when you recognize that, then it puts you in a situation where you can, where you accept, you respect is the word, not accept, because when you say accept, it almost puts you a notch above, as if my views are the correct views. No, you respect. So it's not accept. Like, I remember when I was in corporate America, and they were, we this whole thing with diversity and inclusivity and so forth, and the LGBT community, and people would say, we need to accept them. Oh, that used to, I did not like that word, that phrase, that whole uh, idea of accepting, as if they were the LGBTQ community, as if they were less, that we have to accept them. No, we respect them, because their lives have the same value as your life. They are worthy, each and every person. I'm talking about the LGBTQ community. We don't accept the LGBTQ community. We respect the LGBTQ people that are around us. Why? Because they are worthy of respect. Their lives have value. And that was one thing that I didn't like, when people say, oh yeah, we accept them or whatever. No, we don't. We respect them. And if you are listening to me right now, if you're part of the LGBTQ community, again, we respect you, we honor you, and we love you for who you are. We treat you the same. Treat you the same, with the same love and respect that we give to everyone else. Just had to make that. I don't know where that came from, but that word, because I said it. I said, when we're talking about culture, and I said, we accept other cultures. No, we respect other cultures. Just like we expect people to respect us, we respect others, their culture, their views, their idea. Doesn't mean we have to agree. Doesn't mean we have to agree with the way you think, the way you see things. No, but we respect you. That whole thing about respect is so powerful. That's why when we talk about self awareness and getting to know who you are, respect is a major part of it, because when you respect yourself, then you start setting boundaries. You start making sure, because you cannot tell someone to respect you. And respect is not even earned. You cannot command respect, but there is something about your personality that people know. When you show up and you shake somebody's hand, you are communicating a message right there. They know that you are no flop. This kind of hand. No, it is a message that you communicate when you talk to someone and you look them in the eye. Of course, depending on the culture that you're in, but I'm talking about the Western countries and so forth. You look them in the eye and they know. And again, you are communicating who you are, that you respect yourself, that you know who you are, you love yourself, you accept yourself, you accept who you are, without judgment, without criticism, without shame or blame, condemnation. You accept yourself as you are, your perfect self. Yeah, your perfect self. And don't always have these inserts. Well, I'm not perfect. Yes, you are. Just navigate with that thought process, with that mentality. You are perfect. Because if you do something wrong to someone, then you're going to fix it. You figure it out and you fix it. You figure it out and you fix it. But approach life with the mindset, with the thought process that you are perfect. Again, you know why I say that? Because what are you going to say? That you're imperfect, that you're filthy, right? What are you going to, what's the opposite of that? You're going to insist that you are imperfect? There's no virtue in that. Just think. Now, you don't have to go around and say, well, I'm perfect. No, but keep that in your mind. And when you have situations to deal with, you come up with the perfect solution that you have for that to deal with that situation. You come up with the perfect solution and you resolve whatever it is. And as you again continue to grow and to know who you are, and accept yourself and get to love yourself, and embrace the me, myself, and I self-care mindset, don't be afraid that people will say things like, who does she think she is? It's not who you think you are. By now you should know who you are. And whatever opinions people have, you have no control over someone else's opinion. You have no control. I do it too. When I see somebody on TV, certain commercials, I'm like, oh, and I don't like it. I may be critical, but you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't change the commercial. It doesn't change. That person doesn't even know that I have this opinion of them. It doesn't matter. And the more I become conscious of that, I'm always talking about living intentionally. The more conscious I become of that, I try to just stop it. I'm like, oh, whatever. And I don't make any comment, but I would say to my husband, oh, I can't stand that commercial. But that's what we do. But now we're talking about people that are closer to us, friends, family, relatives, and so forth. They may have opinions of you as they see you changing your way of being. And they may develop an opinion, and it may not be favorable, but that's okay. As long as your freedom does not infringe on the freedom of another, then you can do whatever you want. Just don't hurt someone else. You want to hurt someone else because, that's, you have to, when I talk about freedom, obviously, and again, I just, I refrain a lot from having to explain myself. If you don't get it, then you don't get it. But the thing is this, when I say freedom, you know, obviously you're going to obey the laws of the land. Why? So that we can live in harmony with our fellow citizens. So you're going to stop at the red light. You're going to stop at the stop sign. You're going to do what it takes so that we can have order in whatever nation, city you are in. You follow the laws of the land. I'm talking freedom of, when I say freedom, I mean freedom of expression. Whatever it is that you want to do, then you have that. Now, if you go to a Middle Eastern country and you want to go visit a mosque or something, then you're going to cover your head, obey the laws of the land. That's just what you do, because the point is you don't have to go there. But if you choose to go there, if you choose to go, I had a friend, she went to Dubai, and she shared that. She said, yeah, when you go into the mosque, you got to cover yourself, and certain places you can't wear shorts, and just things of that nature. But if you choose to go there on vacation, then you will be subject to that. You'll be subject to that, and that's what you do. That's just the way it is. But if you're in your neck of the woods and you are able to do whatever, if you want to go into a church or whatever, you don't have to cover your head. You don't, you can wear your shorts, wear your halter top, and you can just do whatever you want. So you've got to be smart in all this whole walk so that you will navigate through it successfully. And while you're doing that, you're going to challenge your thoughts. Anytime you feel or sense a negative thought coming in, and that happens to all of us. It happens to all of us. And sometimes, oh gosh, it feels so strong, the thought of fear, or you may think of something. It happens to me too. And I usually have to just rewire, and update that chip to make sure that it's in line, that it's perfectly aligned with the things that I want, with the things that I desire, with the things that makes me happy and successful and joyful, and having peace with everyone. I have to rewire my mind. But sometimes, you get thoughts. Sometimes, thoughts of fear of different things. We all have that. Don't assume that, being positive and optimistic, that we can, deflect those things from coming to us. We just need to know how to manage those thoughts. Why? Because the advantage we have, I've shared, is that we have a mind of our own. That is an advantage. It's not like somebody telling us what to think or how to, no, it is our own mind. And we entertain the thoughts that we choose, because we choose those thoughts. Whatever thoughts that we entertain, those are thoughts that we choose. And they can be negative, they can be positive, they can be, challenging, they can be scary, whatever. We choose those thoughts. And you're always changing file. It's like a file cabinet. You're always changing file to make sure that those thoughts line up with whatever vibrational frequency. If you're in a situation where you need to increase your income, or better your relationships, improve your relationships, or whatever, then you need to make sure that those thoughts are in alignment with your desires. That's how it is. That they're in alignment with your desires. Your desires. Self-love. That's a big one, because again, the tendency to put yourself in the back burner or not take care of yourself, that's like frequent. And you see, with me, I put a lot of attention into that. I like to take care of myself. That's that's a no-brainer. And when I say that, I mean, I'm always reading things on nutrition, on exercise. My thing is walking. I just enjoy walking. And I made a decision that I was going to go kind of do the weights and all that, but right now that's not where my head is at. So walking is good enough for me. And I shared with my husband. I said, we need to start hiking. I got me some nice hiking boots, hiking shoes, and but we just haven't done that yet. But self-care, whatever it is, my husband sent to me the other day a an article on fragrances and how it affects your body and the chemistry of your body, and how they get into your system, and sometimes they can cause inflammation and all of that. And I'm paying attention to that, because I like my body fragrance when I shower and so forth. But I'm paying more attention to that. Why? um because at some point I may eliminate that. I like my natural fragrance. It's like I would say to my husband, I like the way he smells. He's a clean person, but I just like his body odor. You know, I do. And, and he doesn't wear cologne, but I like the way his natural body odor is. It just smells clean, and I can recognize it. So I'm just talking about self care, how just little things like that you may want to pay attention to. It may not mean anything to you, but it gave me food for thought. Because as you go through different seasons, you develop issues with inflammation and just stuff. So, whatever you can learn in order to mitigate symptoms of discomfort or pain, then it behooves you to pay attention, because no one, and I don't, one of the things that I don't do is like try to tell you, oh, you've got to take this vitamin or take that vitamin. No, no, no. You have to do your own research. You know why? Because we are unique. Our bodies function differently. We're different, and what may work for me may not work for you. So you have to figure out, and that's where it comes in. This, yeah, requires work. It takes work to grow into that knowledge of self, your true authentic self. It takes work. It takes you doing the research. It takes you putting things to practice. It takes uh, allowing yourself to learn. It takes keeping an open mind. It takes expanding your views. It takes listening to something that's totally different from the way you think, the way you operate. It takes being willing to learn the new, and the courage and the strength to get rid of the old. I do that all the time. When I talk a lot about, and I talk a lot about, traditional, conventional norms and all that. I dismiss a lot of that. If it doesn't apply to me today, if it doesn't serve me today, I get rid of it. And in doing so, it is so good. No sugar, just cucumber and lemon water. Whole cucumber, you cut it up, and anyway, it's good. It's very refreshing. But the thing is this: the more I uh, get to know me, myself, I realize that I have really never been normal. What do I mean by that? I am just unique. And if you dig further about yourself, you'll realize that you may be just as not normal, unique. That's why sometimes things rub you the wrong way. Why? Because it's not you. And when I look back, even from a young age, I shared many times how when I was in boarding school, it was so challenging, and they expelled me 3 times and so forth. It's just because you would imagine that at a young age you would conform to stuff, but there was no way other for me to act it out. And of course, it didn't fit into the framework, the patterns, the practices, the habits of that rigid environment. And I got out. I just did things where they like, she's too needs too much attention. She's too mischievous. And even till now, if it doesn't line up with the things that I like, and don't get me wrong, I'm flexible, but certain core behaviors, core habits about myself, you have to recognize and know what they are, and not be concerned. Again, that's, every time there's a change to be made, you think about what would people think? What are they thinking? What would they think of me? It doesn't matter. You have no control. And that's really not your business. Whatever people think of you is not your business, my friend. It is not your business. And whether they like you or not, again, that's something you have no control over, because people, some relationships are temporary. Some relationships are, they have an expiration date. Some people may like you because of something, you may be useful in their lives at this point, but then comes a point where, you no longer serve their needs, and they just say au revoir, adios, tata, hasta luego. And that's some things that we deal with. So we can't live our lives based on who likes us or not. No. As long as you know who you are and you like yourself, you accept yourself the way you are. Just with you, all of you, you accept this is it. This is my personality, this is my uniqueness, this is, my individuality, and that's it. As long as you accept that, then it doesn't matter who does or not. It does not matter. Can't matter. Again, if you have a job, you have to sort that out. We obey the laws of the land. That means in your organization, if you choose to work there, then you're subject to corporate policies. You're subject to that. Just like we're subject to the laws of the land so that we can have a cohesive community, so that we can live in harmony with others. But when it comes to you, my friend, then you have full reign to be your true, authentic self. Focus on your growth. That's another point. Focus on your personal growth. A lot of people, they don't think about that. They're just doing stuff and whatever, and they don't. That's why sometimes when somebody asks you to do something, and you may say, somebody asked me to do something. Well, anyway, a situation, and they say, well, are you gonna host this situation, and so whatever, and I said, no, that's not our plan. Our lifestyle is more organic, and that's just, you have to grow into where you can say no unapologetically, or you say yes. That's what I chose, or that's where I was going, or that was my option. You grow into that, having the courage and the confidence and the assertiveness of being yourself. That is critical. People may not like it, but then again, that is not your business. It is not your business. And you have no, once you think of the fact that you have no control over what people think or say, then it frees you up, because people will always talk about you. They will always have something to say, sometimes positive and sometimes negative. And even if they say something that's positive, yeah, use it as a form of encouragement if that's what, but don't seek validation. Validate yourself. Make sure that you're okay with yourself. That's why you must practice mindfulness. Be mindful, be intentional, be mindful, intentional. Make sure your thoughts count. Be mindful in everything that you do. You want to stay in your present moment. You want to stay present. You want to be in the moment. Yes, we plan. I plan for, I've got plans, but I still am present. When I talk to my husband, sometimes I'm, maybe listening to a podcast, and, they may be saying something, and, they're just getting to the situation to where, it's the meat of it. And my husband calls. Well, when he calls, it's his time. Because if he's thinking of me to call me just to share, or, just checking in, how you doing, what's your agenda today, and so forth, then I put it on pause and I give him the full attention. If I'm going to answer the phone, I give him the full attention. If it's someone else that can wait, then I just use my message thing, we'll talk to you later, call you back in a minute, or something like that. But if it's my husband, then I put the podcast on pause and I give him my full attention. Why? Because I want to be in the moment with the people that matters the most in my life. You've got to be mindful. You've got to be intentional. That's making positive deposits into my relationship. I mean, there are situations, if I'm at a checkout line and my husband calls me, I'm going to say, honey, I'll call you right back. I'm in the checkout line. Why? Because you give the respect to the cashier, the person that's checking you out. So you gotta work things to your advantage. Just work things, figure it out. That may not be your priority, but for me, that's my priority. When it's like I have my phone on do not disturb right now when I'm doing the show. But then again, if my husband wants to get a hold of me, he can circumvent that. He can call and the call will come in. Now, of course, he knows that this is what I'm doing at this time, every Thursday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So unless it's an emergency, he's not going to call. So, mindfulness, you've got to practice that. And then you've got to seek also the support of others. Surround yourself with people that's going to lift you up, people that are positive, the things that you are seeking. Surround yourself with like minded people. Not everyone deserves your time, not everyone deserves your access. To me, access is so important. You give access to the people that's going to enhance your life. You give access to the people that's going to help you grow and develop into the person that you are becoming, to flourish. You give access to the people that matter. And some people matter more than others. You determine that. The point is, my friend, you cannot control what people say or how they think about you. The only thing you can control are the thoughts that you entertain, the thoughts about you, the thoughts about your life, the thoughts about people around you. You are the only one that can control your thoughts. And that is where your focus should be, on the things that you are able to control. But this whole journey, again, for me, it has been so effective, so great because, as I go and I study and I research and I, try to really bring to you information that will help you to grow and develop and to really, prosper in your thinking, it has helped me as well. So I thank you for the time that you give me and allow me to bring this to you. And I thank me for taking the time to research and study and investigate and to learn new stuff that really enhances my life every day. And with that, my friend, I'm going to leave you so that you can ponder on it and start, continue to make these changes. Start practicing new things and habits and new creativity and adventure and doing all of that. The most important thing is that you get to know yourself and to accept yourself as perfect as you are. Every Thursday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, we have a date right here. And if you miss our date, then you can watch the show 24/7 on, see the icons down here to the right, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, so forth. You can catch the show and be encouraged by it. I'm also a certified life coach. And if you need that person to walk alongside with you, to guide you, to encourage you, and to really, inspire you so that you can continue on your path of self-discovery, you may contact me. Go to info at thecynthialinoxshow.com. Go to the bottom and just, there's a square over there. You can shoot me an email and share whatever with me, and I will, we can touch base. I have like a 15 to 30 minute consultation that I conduct, or just chat. If there's something that you wish to share with me, just go ahead and shoot me an email, and I will be happy to address it and touch base with you and so forth. For those of you that have shared how this show has and what I bring has encouraged you and helped you, thank you for sharing. I just really want to see you flourish in your life, to live your best life now unapologetically, because this is the best season of your life. And with that, I will say au revoir, tata, hasta luego. We will see you next week, same time, same place. Have a great weekend. You still have one day before your weekend starts. Make the best of it.